You can see the challenges that I face, but I may not be able to see yours. Have you ever heard, practice like you compete, so you can compete like you practice? Here's why. Whatever you do in practice is ultimately what you will do in competition. If you're looking to better your best, practice is the difference between mediocre and magnificent results. With quality practice, you develop the physical and mental skills that result in high-quality performances. Consistent practice enables you to push past boundaries, increase confidence, and reach even higher levels of achievement. Now, inspiration can come and go, so champions don't rely just on their feelings. They practice when they feel motivated and practice when they don't feel motivated. The great champion Roger Federer said, "You don't stop practicing when you're a champion, because practice is why you are a champion."
Oh boy, Tennis Channel Ambassador Roger Crawford is with us. It's so good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Paul, nice to see you both. Doing terrific.
You are, aren't you?
Awesome tournament, and just great to be with you this morning.
If you could, running on our theme of the day, if you could talk to Nick Kyrgios, just tell me right now, what would be the biggest message you would give a guy like that who's got talent spilling out of his sides?
I think number one would be gratitude, to realize how fortunate he is to be out on the tennis court. He has been blessed with amazing ability. I mean, he's a remarkable player. Because what I've learned from champions, and Paul, you know this so well, is that they have that desire, and that desire, you know, overrides and more powerful than their disappointments or discouragement. You know, he's obviously a very, very gifted player, but we all know we win from the inside out. It starts right here. Talent's one thing, but execution's another.
Yes.
And so...
And you should know.
Thanks. Well,
one of the things I wanted to ask you about is perspective. You know, you talking about perspective, you're talking about practice and about setting up good patterns. And I think one of the things you mentioned about champions is dealing with adversity and having perspective. We've heard Roger and Rafa after the winning and losing. Last year I got to meet Mark Krajicki in here and spend a lot of time with Mark, and I learned so much about perspective. Here's a young kid that was dealt a very difficult blow. And last year when he came and got to spend time with his hero, Roger Federer, out on the court, and he got to hit some balls, I got to chat with him a little bit. How do you teach perspective? How do you teach balance in dealing with adversity?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I think you look at Mark's life. Here, as a young boy, he lost his leg. But he shows us you can do more with one leg in a positive attitude, right, than two legs in a negative attitude. See, you know, Mark didn't spend a lot of time asking, why me? But he spent a lot of time asking how. How am I going to do this? But when you ask about perspective, I think it gets back to what I said earlier. I think it's back to gratitude. I think it's humility and hunger. You know, humility is realizing that as good as you are, you can always get a little better. You know, you look at the greats in the game, and they're always looking for ways to build their capacity. You know, they're working on new strategies, new tactics, and they're always trying to get better on, and I'm inspired by that. And number two, it's that hunger. They find a way to win. You know, I watched Novak Djokovic the other night, and you know, he fought through that very, very difficult match, and he said something at the end that I thought was really profound. He said, "It was tough, but I never stopped believing that I could win."
It's amazing, and it's hard to teach that, right? And it's about a learned kind of habit to do it. And I know you spent some time with Mark, and I think Mark's going to come into town and get to see some tennis again here. And what did you work with Mark to help him get over the hump and learn how to deal with this new situation?
Well, the first thing that I talked to him about was accepting what he couldn't change. The fact of the matter is that he lost his leg. That's the reality. So where do you go from there? How do you can adapt, and how can you adjust? And I know for me, when I was playing tennis, that, you know, I wasn't the fastest, I wasn't the most powerful, but I learned if I could consistently hit the ball over the net one more time than the other person, I'd win the point. Now, you know, you get to a world-class level, that doesn't work as well because people are so phenomenally skilled, but the kind of level tennis I played, it was just, you know, giving the other person another opportunity to miss. So I talked to him about that. He's a young man who is innately positive. And he didn't spend a lot of time making excuses. You know, something that I've always said to people is the quickest way to increase results is you got to decrease excuses. Because, you know, excuses, right, are those self-imposed handicaps that are a lot more disabling than my hands or my legs.
You have plenty of reasons to cook up excuses. Can you just give, for people who are seeing you for the first time, Roger, explain your tennis story. How were you able to overcome all the physical problems you've had?
Well, Mary, I started playing tennis when I was 12 years old, and I walked into a tennis store and I saw the holy grail of tennis rackets. I'm convinced it was made just for me, the Wilson T2000.
Because it had a hole in the middle?
Well, no, the two parallel bars.
Yeah, exactly.
My finger got stuck into the throat of the racket. That's how I learned how to hold it. For me, I wanted to be like all the other kids, and tennis was a way that I could build my self-esteem. And yeah, so there's a picture of me playing. I had a lot more hair back then, I'll tell you.
You and me both.
Yeah, but it's, you know, something I hope people take from the Motivational Mondays is just the joy of participating in this great sport of tennis. You know, it was funny, I was walking around the grounds and I had a couple people come to me and say, hey, I see you on Motivational Mondays, you know, and I was telling my wife, I said, wow. I'm kind of impressed with myself, and then I realized, you know, I'm not that hard to recognize. So people have been very, very kind. It's been a tremendous amount of fun. So, but Mary, really to answer your question, tennis really changed my life.
Yes.
And hey, I never played at the U.S. Open or Wimbledon, but I felt like I won just being out in the court. And I hope that people that are listening, they realize that that's victory in itself. Just, it's participating.
Yes.
It's not necessarily, like I said in one of the Motivational Mondays, I'm never going to be the best Roger in tennis, but I can be the best version of myself. And that's what I hope people take from Motivational Mondays.
Roger Federer is pretty special. So is Roger Crawford. Thank you so much. You shot 60 Motivational Mondays. You can watch them on Tennis Channel.
It's been a privilege. It really has. Thank you, Mary.
It's a privilege for us. Roger, thank you so much.
Good to see you both.